In my scene, we see performances by both Mr. Snow Miser and Mr. He Miser. Throughout Mr. Snow Miser's performance, we see that everything he touches turns to snow or freezes. When Mr. Snow Miser goes to touch the thermometer, you can see that he lowers the level of the temperature to negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. We can see simply by looking at Mr. Snow Miser that he's wearing minimal clothing, including basic pants and a mid-arm length pullover, not nearly enough to survive negative 10 degree weather. To begin, we should discuss what happens to the body when it is exposed to these kinds of temperatures. When the body is exposed to sub-zero temperatures, it starts to draw blood away from the extremities, such as the arms and legs, to help keep the core warm. Next, as soon as the body falls by 1 degree Celsius, the core temperature now being at 36 degrees Celsius, you feel your muscles tightening, the beginning stages of muscle contractions. Celsius, your body will begin to shiver or violently contract all of its muscles. As your core temperature begins to drop, you will eventually stop feeling cold, will start receiving memory loss, and eventually will doze off due to lack of oxygen. Your skin will start to feel as though it's burning, and you will feel the desire to strip off all of your clothes. When the core temperature finally reaches 28 degrees Celsius, inevitable at a negative 10 degree Fahrenheit environment with minimal clothing, your skin turns cold and bluish pale. This is the skin color of Mr. Snow Miser, and thus he should be unconscious in his igloo, as he has no seen source of heat and lives at his chilling 10 degree temperature. Following Mr. Snow Miser is Mr. He Miser, who can be seen living in a volcano before he is shown on screen. To begin with, we can see a flowing river of lava right next to where Mr. He Miser lives. Lava can range from temperatures of 700 to 1250 degrees Celsius. From this, we can determine that the lava river is when the body starts overheating, as it would do quickly if it were inside a volcano inches away from pure molten lava. It sends excessive amounts of blood to the extremities to try to make the body sweat so that the core temperature can be lowered. This puts extreme stress on the heart and causes it to overwork. At 101 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature that Mr. He Miser makes his home, the skin on his body is burning to the touch but is also very dry as it cannot be hydrated by perspiration. Water is also drawn from your blood, which causes it to thicken quickly, causing clotting and eventually a stroke or heart attack. With the temperature in Mr. He Miser's home never lowering, he would not be able to recover from his heart attack or stroke, and thus would die, as he is presumably miles and miles away from any kind of emergency medical care and has no noticeable connection or contact to the outside world. In other words, both Mr. He Miser and Mr. Snow Miser would not be able to live in their chosen climates as they are now, severely under-equipped. Both Mr. Snow Miser and Mr. He Miser would be unconscious in the beginning, as they eventually slipped into death in a matter of mere hours. It could be argued that the two would be able to lower or raise the temperature to try to combat their rising or falling core temperatures. However, the two would likely not have the mental capability to do so, as both extreme heat and extreme cold greatly affect the ability to make rational decisions.
Created using Powtoon.